2025 AI predictions. We have to make a middle of the year AI prediction update.
He's at it again!
So let's start off. One AI prediction that we're looking at here is going to be around what it does to the video and film industry. You might have seen that there's a big studio being built by Netflix up in New Jersey, like $1 billion, many millions of dollar investment up there. But then at the same time, we see down in Atlanta a studio that's responsible for putting out shows such as The Walking Dead, as well as a number of other movies down there, Tyler Perry series and all of that. That big $1 billion movie studio that they were going to do got put on hold. They acquired the land, they actually broke ground, but then yanked everything on it because of what they saw that Sora was able to do. So the AI infrastructure of the area is booming down there. They are actually investing into it in those movie studios, but now they're investing less into building a full-on AI production studio, and they're putting in bigger workstations, more GPUs, and less square footage. So that's kind of an interesting change. I would guess we're going to see this a lot. We're seeing that some very AI-enhanced video properties coming out. If you haven't seen the really funny Life with the two Stormtroopers, I gotta watch how I say this, I don't want to step on anybody's IP, but the Stormtrooper series, which is filmed with people in costumes to get away with the trademark, but then they're bringing in all types of AI and able to make it look like they're part of the Star Wars universe there, and they're able to do all of these skits and series as if they have the movie sets, but they're doing it with AI footage and AI technology. Let's talk about customer service and my prediction for customer service and AI. It is a field that we see the most interaction right now. Everybody is creating a customer service bot. I will say that some of them are getting really good. The AI ordering from Bojangles, which really is kind of like customer service. It's AI taking your order. And now that everybody's getting more comfortable, the model has learned a little bit more, it's actually better than, I hate to say it, it's probably better than some of the humans that I've had to order with.
He said that? What a nerve!
Is AI going to take some of these phone jobs, some of these customer service jobs? Yeah, absolutely. But what I am seeing happening and what we've been creating technologies around is a great way to use a telephone interface to go to a database with an AI chatbot interface. So that if you need to find out when your appointments are, you can dial in, press it online, ask a question, and let it dip into the database of the scheduled appointments to say, hey, Mr. Garrison, your appointment is on Monday the 17th at 3 o'clock. And that's great use of AI technology because then you don't have to take up somebody on the phone. Now, if I need to make a change or I need to update my insurance, something of that nature, that is the type of thing that I do encourage all companies. Make sure you've got that route that during business hours you can get a human on the phone and make it easy for somebody to jump from the AI side back over to the human side. It is something that requires that escalation. But the amount of things you can now self-service with AI is really blowing up, and it's something we're going to see over the next couple of months very heavily. So I have a smart home, and Amazon Alexa is one of the main things that runs my smart home. But a lot of the things that I also have tied there with a product called Home Assistant, I am really waiting for somebody to come out with a really smart AI assistant that uses the LLMs and makes Home Assistant much more predictive. So a lot of my automations, you had started off, a given time of day. Nowadays, it's based off of what are the conditions of when sunset is. We can make them smarter. But I'm also starting to see and use at my own house, as well as I know a number of other people in that home automation space, are using things such as when I'm in the garage, it's going to turn on the lights and it's going to keep them on using a occupancy sensor. But the other thing that is now doing is it is looking at the weather conditions outside. So like today, it's a very rainy day. I had lights that came on in my living room, not just because of the situation that it was morning. It was the time of the morning when the lights should be off, but it lit up lights in my living room because I had programmed that in. In the near future, LLMs will be able to just plug in and create these recommendations and be able to do these type of things and predict. the light levels outside are likely really low because it is a thunderstorm and it's this amount of overcast. So Eric wants these lights on in the house. And it makes it easier because then you're not saying, Alexa, turn on living room lights. It's just Alexa doing that on their own. And that's one area that I think that we're going to start seeing smarter things is around those home assistants, the home assistant product itself, but also I think it's going to drive into some smarter things, even with like some of the robot type items that you have. So if you've got a Roomba or something of that nature, today you can program them to do certain factors, but I think in the future what you're going to have is you're going to have some monitors that you may have. You may have some conditions. Hey, here's a bunch of noise. Afterwards, you have a party. It's going to come out and the Roomba is going to, like sci-fi, it's going to predict, oh, I just heard 10 kids in the house. Let me send the Roomba off there and let it go clean things up. I think that's going to be a great automation. The other thing that I think that you're starting to see here with a lot of better automations is predicting. So let's say that you've got something on a calendar like an event that you have scheduled for a July 4th party. And normally your Monday through Friday, your house is going to be 4 degrees warmer because that is what the Nest thermostats and everything are predicting. But now, because they see on your calendar that there is a 4th of July party, it knows to bring the temperature down and predict that on July 4th, we're going to have people here. It looks like people are invited. That type of automation will be able to kick off, and that's one of the predictions I see is some of these things talking, because the models can now talk with each other and with other objects, this MCP protocols that we talk about on the tech side of things, and on the Code Behind channel, MCP is allowing more things to talk and work better together, and I think we're going to see some better automations and tech come because of that, and the interoperability between these models as well as other objects talking to the model.
Nine Roomba!
Other prediction, LLM memory, but not just memory in your chat. When you're chatting with ChatGPT, we already have that. It can remember quite a bit. What I think we're going to see is these bot models that are collecting the data about what Eric is doing. This is going to be a big privacy thing, but it also is going to make things like your home automations and some of the other things a little more transparent, a little easier, a little smarter. But from a privacy concern, do really need to be careful on this, because what I predict is that a lot of the preferences, and I'm not talking about 1, 2, 3 little preferences, I'm talking about hundreds of attributes. Like the LLM model is going to remember that Eric is a non-vegan. So the recipes you're going to recommend to him are going to be a little spicy, a little barbecue, a little meat focused. If you're working with somebody else, you're going to recommend them, tofu. But Eric, you're going to say, here is the recommendations that we have for him. And that memory aspect is going to allow the LLM to know more about Eric. It's also going to know and start recording things that our iPhones are really doing today, which are that Eric gets up at this time, he normally then takes a shower at this time, he leaves for work around this time. Or if you notice on your iPhone today, when you go into a smart car with CarPlay, it automatically knows, hey, you're going here. If you regularly go to church at a particular time, when you get in your car around that time, it's going, hey, do you want to go here? With that memory model, it's going to be even more predictive on that around larger range of things. So it's going to ask you and record certain amount of demographic data that it's going to have to be told once or twice, but then it's going to model off of that to be able to drive some of these recommendations. So where this comes into play and where I see AI going, today we type into your phone, into maps, find tacos near me. In the future, I'm going to ask ChatGPT, because I'm not going to Google it anymore, I'm going to say, I'm traveling to Orlando, where should I eat? And it's going to know Eric likes meat tacos, pork tacos are one of his favorite, he likes food trucks. So it's going to have all of that in my memory recommendation, and it's going to say, hey, here's a great food truck park you might want to check out. Here's another restaurant you've never been to. Think about that. Here's a restaurant you've never been to, because it records where you've gone, what you've eaten, when you've done it. And it can then recommend that, or go, last time you had drinks at this place at Lake Nola, why don't you go back there? And it will have the ability, because of that memory function, to be able to make those type of recommendations, as well as know the person that is working for. Today, we ask the LLM and we ask our home assistant, we ask people to do certain things. In the future, there's going to be a lot more things set on set it and forget it mode. What I mean by this is there's going to be times where today I have to remember to order a prescription. I have to remember this. Those type of things you can set on auto, but also the models can start monitoring those type of things and do a better job at making sure that certain things are in the smart refrigerator, in the house. You've had this delivery. So in the future, it could be that you have a checklist that it brings up and says, it appears that you need to have these items delivered. Is that okay? Yep. And then your delivery service brings it to the house. They let themselves in, put it in the refrigerator. That's not all that far off. I think that is something that we will see more of in 2025 and 2026. It sounds a little bit, George Jetson-like, but those type of models are here today. It's the adoption of it that is really what is needed to make that happen. AI health prediction. So this is one that I see probably later. Healthcare is a little slower to adopt. It's bigger data. I know with the companies we're working with, we're doing quite a bit at analyzing health records today and using that to scan through EHR data to be able to look. I think where we're going to see this trend going and more healthcare companies doing is when I go in for my checkup, I get these scans done, I get these x-rays done, they go into the EHR. A year later I come back, blood work's drawn again, scans are done, those go into the system, and then the delta is looked at to say, Eric, you've gained 6 pounds in this time, your cholesterol has gone up a couple of points, and your blood pressure is not where it needs to be. We need to correct this. And today, you've got the capability of doing a lot of this. I know with my doctor today, a lot of what happens when you go in there, we're actually looking at my blood pressure by the fact that I have a smart blood pressure monitor at home. So we pull up the app and look at how my blood pressure has been trending over months when it happens. He also asked the question about sleep and at my last checkup. And the way that we looked at that was, got the iWatch. So we pulled up the health app and looked at sleep. I think in the future, a lot of this data that these smart health trackers as well as smart health devices are going to push into Epic system. And that a lot of things are going to look at the trends. I also think that maybe more in 26, 27, when you would get asked those questions at the doctor, they'd love to ask you, like, have you fallen? And you're going to go, no, of course I haven't fallen. Well, this little lady on our wrist may go, that may not be right, Eric. Do you remember you tripped and fell 3 weeks ago? And also when the question comes up, like, how many drinks a day or a week or month or whatever, they like to ask you have. And today, that's one of those questions you're like, oh, well, how do I answer this? Unfortunately, that's the type of question, these scans of your blood and also of your lifestyle may be up in the LLM, and we do have to watch the privacy on that because we could also have the little health trackers tattling on us a little bit.